Alright everyone, what is going on? BusterBarnes here, bringing you my preview for Chelsea's home game in the Premier League, hosting Manchester City. A Manchester City side that will be without a few players. I actually did think in my review of the Aston Villa game, which you guys can check out, that this game actually might not happen because the Manchester City-Everton game was obviously postponed because of this coronavirus outbreak within the team. But it seems like more of the reasoning that the Everton game was postponed was basically because it just came at such late notice that they didn't want to risk maybe spreading the virus to another team. But with obviously all of the pre-testing and stuff leading up to the Chelsea game, they will be fine. However, they have confirmed that 5 players will not be available for this game as they have all tested positive for the coronavirus. Now, we can all pretty much assume that 2 of those players will be Gabriel Jesus and Kyle Walker, which, I mean, I guess you can say does weaken Man City just losing any players, but they are a team which has a lot of squad depth, so it's still going to be a hard game whoever's not available. I think another player rumoured might be Ederson, which would probably be the biggest hit of the bunch if he does not start for Manchester City in that game. But either way, like I said, Man City are a great team run by a great manager. It's going to be a tough task for a team that's not in great form, but I will be getting into the team news of Chelsea as well as giving you guys my predicted lineup and my predicted scoreline for the game as well. So please be sure to leave a like, comment down below what you predict our lineup to be, how you think the game's going to go, your thoughts on Chelsea in general at the moment. Hopefully we can kick the new year off to a good start, and the way that you can help me kick off the new year to a good start, guys, is by subscribing to the channel for more Chelsea FC content. My review for this game will be out after it does take place, so you can always stay tuned for that as well. But if I do get onto our team news, basically Lampard said that Hakim Ziyech, there's a chance that he could feature against Manchester City. However, we all know that it's probably not going to be a start. He is, if anything, going to be on the bench for us, which will still be a boost anyway, due to some of the injuries that we have had over December that have kind of hindered us. So it will be nice to have him back if that's possible. Reece James has a hamstring issue, so he will not be available for this game, which is a shame. It kind of raises questions on whether he should have started against Arsenal, as he didn't feature against Villa either. I'm not too sure, but obviously that's happened. We need to try and move past that. But yeah, other than that, it seems like to be a fully fit squad, and hopefully it can be enough to try and defeat Man City, who will be weakened. We still, like I said, don't know who all the players are that are missing their game, but either way, the way they're set up is still gonna be difficult. But if I do get onto my predicted lineup for this game, it's kind of the lineup I want to see, slash that I think Lampard will probably just start. It's going to be Edouard Mendy in goal. Now, some people have maybe raised questions over him recently, like he made the mistake against Everton. Some people questioned his goal conceded against Arsenal with that cross. Some maybe questioned the goal he conceded against Villa. To be honest, I think the only real mistake that I've seen him mainly make is the goal that he conceded to Everton, conceding the penalty. That was a bit of poor judgment from him. But with the goal against Wolves, I thought it was just a good shot. The goal against Arsenal, that was like a once in a decade thing that Arsenal will score a goal like that, so it's just a shame. Against Villa, he was pretty much one-on-one with El Ghazi. That was more the defence's fault more than any. So I feel like I'm jumping to his defence a little bit lately, but I think he's still shown that he's a good keeper. He's basically a pretty average keeper. He has some good attributes as well, and that's all that we need, to be honest. Just a man who's a clear step up from Kepa Arrizabalaga. So he's definitely going to be in goal for us. The back four, Ben Chilwell is going to be at left back. Obviously, played very well against Villa. Did think he was our best player in that game. Despite a bit of injury concerns throughout the month, he seems to have progressed and carried on quite well, putting in some good performances. Zuma and Thiago Silva will be the centre-backs. Missed them definitely against Villa. I don't even want to get into how Andreas Christensen made me feel in that Villa game when we conceded that goal. The less spoken about that, the better. It was a bit confusing that maybe neither of them featured against Villa. I thought that Zuma would be fine too. He wasn't even on the bench, so that was interesting. But I'm assuming he's not injured because we haven't heard anything about that. But it will be nice to see those two start again, and we'll definitely need them starting against the City side that will still be strong. They still have Aguero, Sterling, Mahrez, assuming that they're all fit, so it's still going to be tough. De Bruyne as well. Some real quality players for Man City, and even though they maybe haven't been firing as much going forward, they've definitely shored up a bit defensively, so it will be tough to break down. Seeing as how our attack is sort of going at the moment, that could be a bit of a problem for us. But right back, I am going with Cesar Azpilicueta. Obviously, Reece James is injured, he's out, so Azpilicueta is the natural fill-in for his spot. It's good to have your captain on the pitch. He's not really You know, if you're going to have a player miss a game, you know, Reece James isn't the worst player to do so because Aspi is still a quality defender and can even add an assist going forward as well. So him playing should hopefully still be okay. Obviously, maybe pace is a little bit of an issue against some players, but he still has the knowledge and experience to hopefully put in a good performance. Going with a 4-3-3, obviously, as we do, Kante's going to be in that deeper role. We have seen Jorginho feature in a few games. Don't want to see him feature against this City side, to be honest. I know they wanted him at a certain point, but I think he fit their system. Our system, he doesn't fit all the time. It depends who the opposition are. And I think a pressing team like Man City is not the type of team you want Jorginho against, really, to be honest. We have a lot of fast players as well. Joining him in the midfield is going to be Mason Mount and Mateo Kovacic. I don't think this is the game you put Havertz into. He's been poor. He's had some decent performances off the bench, so you can always take him off the bench later. But I don't think he's ready to start, especially against a quality Manchester City side. I just don't think it's going to work out, so I have put Kovacic there. A fairly press-resistant player, can get out of tight spaces, can drive the ball up the pitch. I did see actually a quote a few days ago that someone said how Kovacic can only see 10 yards ahead, which I thought was a great quote because obviously he doesn't really seem to ever spray passes or really create much. He just sort of seems to run directly in front of him, which he's very good at, and sort of do short passes forward or sideways, which isn't necessarily awful, but he is a frustrating player, Kovacic. He's a very nice player to have. Some people say a luxury player, which I kind of understand that a bit more now, but he's not someone that I like seeing start week in, week out, especially maybe when there's other flaws within the team. I think if you have a perfect team, then he can fit into it and look nice, but I think when you have a few struggles, he's maybe not the best player to have. Mason Mount obviously retains his place, being a revelation at the number 8, hopefully can have another great performance for us. We'll definitely need his pressing ability, and he's definitely been improving like his on the ball skills with his passes, his creativity, so it's nice to see, and yeah, hopefully he can put in another good performance. Now I think the more question marks we've got are over the front three, as there's a multitude of players that can start in whatever sort of way you feel fit. I am obviously going to go for Christian Pulisic on left wing. Actually scored against Man City in our last game against them at Stamford Bridge, the game which actually won Liverpool the league. I think he is going to start. Again, can maybe take advantage of there being no Kyle Walker. If that is the case, maybe against a Mendy who's not the best defensively, he could do some good things as well. So I think he has to start. Maybe been unlucky not to score any goals yet. I mean, he scored against Leeds, but recently he's maybe been a bit unlucky. Some of his dribbling's been absolutely insane, by the way, and the way he's got past some players. But I just think he needs to find that bit of goal-scoring form, and then we'll see the best of Christian Pulisic again, like we saw at that restart period. Up front, I'm going to go for Tammy Abraham. Giroud did score against Villa, and he has been scoring in games that he's been playing. He's been doing it consistently. However, in some of his performances recently, he hasn't impressed me loads. He's scored a goal, but his hold-up play hasn't been as good. He's been a bit slow. Like against Villa, I didn't love his performance. Same against Everton, same against Wolves. I didn't love the way he was playing, even though he did score. So yeah, I don't necessarily want to see him in this game. If he does start, that's fine. We all know that Giroud can do great things. But for me personally, I'd rather see Tammy Abraham. I think he links up with Pulisic well. Would maybe like to see him with whoever the other winger is as well. If it's Werner, they link up well or decently. If it's Callum Hudson-Odoi, I'm sure they can work well together. And Abraham's been on good goal-scoring form as well. The last 2 games he's played, scored 3 goals. Scored against Arsenal, scored 2 against West Ham as well. In some good form, so I don't see why you wouldn't continue playing him. I'm surprised he didn't come on against Aston Villa, actually, to be honest, but I mean that's in the past now. The right wing is the question though. Do we go with Callum Hudson-Odoi or do we go with Timo Werner? I think the answer for a lot of Chelsea fans is simple, but it's more what I want to happen versus what I think will happen, because I'm going to put Callum Hudson-Odoi on the right wing. I think he played very well against Villa. He did great coming on in the second half against Arsenal. And against Villa, he was definitely a lot of quality in the first half. Could have had a goal, had a decent shot saved, and was spraying, changing play really well. I think his one weakness, which I think people are picking up on, is he maybe doesn't make as many runs into the box that he should. He needs to improve that a bit. I mean, who better to learn from to do that than Lampard, to be honest? He was the master, obviously arriving late in the box to score some goals. So I think that'll be something that Callum Hudson-Odoi needs to develop. I think that's probably why we maybe haven't seen him play as much as we maybe thought he would. That's maybe the reason why I think Werner might start, because, I mean, first off, Man City will defend high, so getting in behind them, Werner has the pace to do that. And also, Werner does, make runs into the box. You can't fault Werner's effort. He hasn't had his scoring boots on recently, and it is frustrating, but he's always getting in the right position. He's always working his socks off, so if he starts, I wouldn't be surprised. However, personally, I'd like to see Callum Hudson-Odoi start, because I do think he's deserved it based on form, and so maybe he can really exploit that Man City side with Mendy and with, I believe, is it John Stones, I think, on the left centre-back side of Man City. I'm not too sure, either him or Diaz, who I'm guessing are going to start unless they've picked up the virus as well. Still not 100% sure on those other Man City players who will be missing the Chelsea game, but I guess we'll find out nearer to the time. But that is going to be my lineup, guys. Do let me know in the comments below who you'd start. Would you start Werner or Hudson-Odoi? Do you think anyone else is going to start? Would you start someone else in midfield? I would love to know. Ziyech, I don't think is going to be available to start for yeah, I don't think we're going to see him feature in the starting 11. But yeah, that's going to be my team, guys. If everyone gets onto a predicted scoreline, I don't want to take Man City lightly because they're missing players, because we know how great their depth is. We know they can attack well. They haven't been on maybe the best form recently, but that can always pick up. I am actually going to go for a 2-0 win. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win. I think Man City attacking haven't necessarily been great. Now, there is the Kevin De Bruyne factor. We know he's against us, his former club. He loves, to obviously put a good performance past us, so need to be wary. But I think our defence, against Arsenal, we conceded 2 set pieces and a cross. I don't think our defence was necessarily bad. Against Villa, we had one poor moment. I mean, those weren't even the same players, really. I think our defence is still good. Man City will be without Walker, which I think is big. Might be without Edison. I think we'll be able to score at least a goal, and I'm going for 2. I'm going for 2 goals. Why not? 2-0 against Man City. Probably quite bold. Probably a likely chance that both teams will score, but I'm going for 2-0. Why not? A clean sheet at home to Man City would be great, and our first win against a top 6 team this season, I think. Our results haven't been awful against the top 6 teams. But yeah, getting a win against City would definitely give us a pretty big boost, especially at home and going into the new year. A good way to kick off 2021 would be a win for the Blues, so I do hope that can happen. If you guys hope for that to happen, please be sure to leave a like, comment down below your score and team lineup predictions. My review for this match will be coming up after it does commence, so stay tuned for that as well. I do hope you all have a nice day, and I will see you next time.